I gotta admit, I'm surprised I've never made a video like this earlier. I also generally don't make videos like this. They're generally very scripted. But let's give it a go. These are 6 things you may not have considered that are absolutely awesome about working a 9 to 5 in Thailand. Well, let's just get straight into it. The first aspect of this is pretty blatantly obvious. You get a guaranteed salary every single month, and you know the value of it. I can't count how many times I've met people who are doing online sales in Thailand who will tell you that their salary is the maximum salary that they've ever received rather than their average. But when you know your salary each month, it makes the future so much easier to plan for. Now, besides this, you've also got your paid for visa and work permit. Yeah. The company pays for it. You don't spend a cent. You hear about things like visa runs and think, man, that makes life sound difficult. The only contemplation that I give to my visa is every 3 months, a cute girl walks up to my desk and asks for my passport. 2 days later, she gives it back to me. That's the end of it. Every 3 years, I get half a day off when I have to go into Bangkok and take a photo for my work permit. But beyond that, there is nothing that needs to be considered about the visa and work permit status of yourself here. And based on the amount of videos I see on YouTube about visas and work permits, I cannot underestimate how much stress-free hassle having these taken care of you provides. And one more aspect to consider when you have a non-B visa and a work permit is that you can get a mortgage. And once you buy property here, it means that you are very much cemented as living here. This one I absolutely adore because people who are doing online digital sales work and don't have fixed time schedules, it confuses the shit out of me. Because if you're responsible for your own business, then it means that you can be working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But I know I'm probably pointing out the obvious, but when you're doing 9 to 5 work, you're only working from 9 to 5. You're not spending your free time hustling. You're not spending your free time networking. It is your free time to do with whatever you please. And I notice that whenever I meet these online digital salespeople, they're always on the job. I don't mean that they're working 24 hours a day. What I mean is that every time they meet someone, it feels like they're viewing them as either a potential network or a potential customer. And when you're secure in your salary, you don't have to worry about treating people like that. Instead, you can get to know them on a personal level rather than having to worry about, is this person a potential benefit to my company? And while some people might like that motivation to work hard for their own business, some people would rather focus on life activities like having kids or their partner instead. Having no restrictions on what time is hustle time would drive me bananas. I find this one interesting as well because there's a lot of people who consider the idea that if you're moving from wherever you are to Thailand to work 9 to 5 or the rat race, it means that all you're doing is substituting a job that you hate in your own country for a job that you hate here. I don't understand how annual leave works in the United States, but I know there's a lot of companies out there that provide absolutely zero, which means that if you want to take 4 months leave from your company, a lot of people will have to resign from the company in order to take that time off. It also doesn't require a 25-hour plane trip. And it's not like working 9 to 5 here means that you don't have access to the best of Thailand either. Bangkok is only an hour drive away from my house. Pattaya is only an hour drive away from my house. 2 tropical islands are only 45-minute drives away from my house. I can be at multiple theme parks within an hour. I can be at a Thai beach in 5 minutes. Well, it's only around about 2 minutes from where I am now. But for people who are considering the idea that relocating from your own country to Thailand to work a 9 to 5 will defeat the purpose, you have absolutely no idea what you're missing out on when 4 months of the year you're waking up in one of the most beautiful destinations in the world and you're getting paid for it. This is important because you never know what type of hurdles life is going to throw at you. I know there's a lot of foreigners that come over here and they make sure to advise other people that they must consider health insurance while staying here. You never know if you're going to get an accident on a motorbike. You never know if you're going to get in a car accident. You never know if you're going to get sick. So health insurance is not something to fuck around with here. And when you work for a multinational company here, they provide you with free healthcare. I can't count how many times I've been to the hospital in Thailand over the last 10 years for either myself or my family members, and I've never had to pay a cent. It's simply a case of you go see the doctor, you get the receipt, you take it to work, you sign some documents, hand it in. A couple of days later, you get the money back. But each company will have different types of healthcare that they provide. And if it's quite a large company, then you can guarantee that you will be taken care of as well as your family. This is an interesting one that a lot of people won't consider. But when you're working a 9 to 5 here, it means that you're going to be working with a hell of a lot of Thai people. And there's a lot of foreigners that come over to Thailand, and the only Thai people that they actually meet are service staff. You'll hear people talking about how they're not just making friends with the girls at the bars, they're also making friends with the taxi drivers, they're also making friends with the security guards at their condos. But these are all service people that are paid to do a job for you. But if you're working a 9 to 5 here, it means that you actually have the opportunity to make friends with people who don't have to be nice to you because you're paying. So if you actually end up being friends with people, it's because they sincerely and genuinely actually like hanging out with you. Not only that, but the types of women that you're actually going to meet in these 9 to 5 jobs are generally considered high value women. They're all going to be university graduates. They're all going to be hard working, and they're all potentially going to have a lot of interest from other Thai men, which means that they're not simply looking for a phalung to take care of them when they know that they have different options. They don't have to pretend to like you. They don't have to be nice to you. They don't have to be polite to you because it's their job. If you fuck up, they're going to tell you. If you do something wrong, they're going to tell you. If you make mistakes, they're going to tell you. And for those who are that way inclined, it's a lot easier to learn language this way through the immersion technique. Unless, of course, when you got your job, you were told that your job is to teach everybody correct grammar English because you're the only fucking phalung at the company. So yeah, there is the potential to turn into a free English teacher for hundreds of educated Thai women. And yeah, these companies generally hire much more women than men. Now, if you watch any video on Thailand, you're going to find amazing differences on the experiences that people have here based on where they actually live or what type of lifestyle they have. But if you're working a 9 to 5 here, it means that you're hanging out with the middle class. And the middle class basically represents the average of everything in a country. You're not just going to get filled with ideas or concepts from people who left school at 10 years old. You're also not going to hear extremes from people who are the uber elite. Hanging out with these people means that you get a good cross-section of how generally people tend to think here. What is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad, what is cool, what is not. It's also a good way of staying on top of what's actually going on in Thailand because a lot of phalungs who move here generally hang out in circles of phalungs and don't stay up to date with the current affairs taking place in Thailand. So it can freak a lot of Thai people out, the fact that you actually are interested in it and know so much about the subject, which of course makes it easier to converse and talk with Thai people in a general environment. Another thing to consider is that if you're working a 9 to 5 here, it means that you can meet highly educated Thai people who can provide you insight into the country and the culture. I have learned 1,000 times more about Thai culture simply by working in an environment like this rather than going to bars like this and talking to other people outside of the company. So those are 6 things that I would consider major advantages of working a 9 to 5 in Thailand that many people may not have considered before. My name is Logan in Thailand, and I make videos trying to help people move from the West to Thailand and take up corporate work to escape the decay of the West.